Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Two Dudes Talking News. Today, we have a co-host, MrCodswallop.
Hello.
And special guest, TheRightOpinion.
Hello.
The man himself.
Yes, indeed.
So, first things first, how are you doing today, Mr. TheRightOpinion?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you for asking. And I am very honoured to be on such a prestigious little show, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Of course you are.
Us and our 8 subscribers are
Yeah.
You have 8 subscribers?
Because Troy's on it now. They'll have more. That's how it works.
Yes, you will. You will. You'll have it, and 10. I'll be like promoting it all day long.
Oh, yeah.
On my Twitter feed. You'll get 1 retweet. That's about it. Don't ask for anything more, you ungrateful bastards.
I'm sorry. We've pushed it.
So, Mr. TheRightOpinion, how did you get started doing your political stuff on YouTube?
Well, it was approximately April 2016, and I thought, hey ho, I have too much free time. And I thought to myself, what could I do with this free time? And I saw my friends, and they were on the YouTubes making videos. And I thought, well, why can't I make videos on the YouTubes as well? And so I decided that I would make videos on the YouTubes. Most of my friends actually have stopped now. Either their channels died or they just got bored. But I'm still here. I have evolved and I've survived because most of my friends did gaming channels.
Yeah, I know you're grinding though.
I'm grinding. Obviously, gaming channels haven't fared very well, especially the small ones. Small gaming channels have definitely had a problematic time recently.
Yeah, it seems with gaming you kind of got to do something other than gaming and then sort of move to gaming if you want once you have an established fan thing.
Exactly that. The populace seem to have quite a low tolerance for the gaming currently.
Yeah, the only commentary is kind of the way to go when you're smaller. It seems like there's a lot of room.
In a way, yes, I would say that commentary is the way to go when you're smaller or when you're larger at all. I think it depends on what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of what you want to talk about, why politics? Why didn't you just go the normal commentator route of YouTube drama, Keemstar, that whole jazz?
Because I saw there were enough people doing things already on them, and I thought, well, actually I do want to do something slightly more unique, even if it's not particularly different. I wanted to somewhat distinguish myself from the crowd.
Makes sense. And going from the politics thing, what are your personal political views? Where do you land on the political compass?
Where do I land on the political compass? I'm rather left-wing myself. I'm a left libertarian on many issues. Especially well, no, actually both equally economically and socially. I'm both left. I only have a few right-wing views here and there scattered about that may be like more prominent right-wing views to an extent, but my views are mostly left-wing, and they always have been. Even when I was like supporting right-wing parties when I was younger, my views were still firmly left-wing.
Have you gotten any comments calling you a alt-righter or any of that kind of stuff that a lot of political channels get? Especially
no, not at all.
Disagree with the mainstream.
No, none at all. No comments. At all. I don't think I've ever been called a member of the alt-right. I've had a few people disagree with me, but I've honestly had a really civil time in the comment sections. I think it's to an extent the way I put my points across, which makes me less susceptible to being abused because most of the time I'd say a lot of criticism really does not come at my politics, maybe other things, but not my politics.
I know your comment section seems really clean most of the time anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of banter, but
yeah,
that's pretty good.
You got a good fan base, to be fair.
Yeah, nice
that's especially
bunch
good
of
when
lads.
you can call it political content.
Yeah.
What would you say? Do you have any views that you would say are right wing, and if so, what are some examples of those that you don't?
It's hard to
agree
say
with the left
exactly.
on?
It's hard to say exactly because my views fall in line rather simply with mainstream views on most issues. There are a few issues which I'm a bit more like radical on, but a lot of the time I'm just taking the view which I believe is common sense. So I'm never really particularly right or left wing because I don't believe that either extremes solve the issues at hand. With that noted, I mean it's hard to explain my right-wing views exactly. Because I have an independent view on everything. I'm trying to think of like a good example. But I really don't like for example, like on immigration, I believe in controlled immigration. I believe that people should be able to vote in a government that offers a quota for immigration. If they want to. But I don't particularly view that as right-wing necessarily. I just believe that's common sense because I think that, firstly, it's important that the people do have a say in how immigration is controlled within the country. And also I believe that there are many left-wing reasons for controlling immigration too, such as the compression of wages at the lower end. If we're really like caring about the working class of people, then it would be economically left wing to just try and control immigration. That's why a lot of big companies are so in favour of immigration, because it means that they can keep the wages relatively low, even though there is always a minimum wage. What I found out when working in the semi-skilled sector, such as banking and waiting, is that those jobs have been like rather like compressed, because although you do need some sort of skill to have that job, the downside is that there's so many people who have that skill now that they can just set the wages rather low. So although I do consider myself maybe like slightly right wing on those views, I don't consider them right wing. I don't have those views for right wing reasons. More just for the fact that I believe that my chief principle is that I don't believe necessarily in equality, because true equality is communism. I believe in equal opportunity. If someone wants to go and get something, then I think they should have the opportunity to. But if they don't then go and choose to go and get that thing, they shouldn't have the same as someone who has chosen to go and get that thing.
That makes a lot of sense. Do you find yourself having any fans or attracting the same type of fans, because you make a lot of videos ranting on SJWs, as someone like, like Sargon of Akkad or something? Do you guys kind of like share a fan base, or do you get any comments talking about that?
It's interesting actually, because what I've found is that I've done some polls, and one of the polls was what would you consider yourself politically, and I think I had 20% of my fans were left wing, 20% of my fans were right wing, and then 60% were centre. So there's a clear like spike as for the centre for my fans. So I'm not really necessarily getting the same caliber of right-wing fans as some commentators, or left-wing fans as others. I'm kind of attracting it from all field right now, which I'd say is a pretty good thing, because most people are fairly moderate, and therefore hopefully I would be attracting most people.
Nice. Yeah. Now, have anybody that you know in real life found your channel yet, either through like recommended or Facebook or whatever?
No one has done that. My friends in real life know about my channel, but no one who I haven't told has found me yet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of the same though. Like nobody knows about my channel. Not even like my friends. And then you got Jacob, like fucking everyone in school knows about his fucking channel.
People at school
The
found my channel.
How did they find that out? How?
I told one of my friends about it who spread it.
Yeah. And they called him the radioactive faggot.
Yeah. I didn't tell him to keep it quiet. I was just like, here it is. I'm doing it, and then he told a bunch of people, and my nickname was the radioactive faggot. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fair enough.
Would you consider yourself a commentator?
Whatever.
Hello?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Would you consider yourself a commentator? Part of the commentary community? Because there's been a whole thing about that on Twitter with a bunch of people. I'm in the commentary community. I'm not in the commentary community.
Okay, the internet's a bit funny, but I did actually get your question, so I'm going to respond now. And if you can't hear me properly, then don't worry, I am going to respond. Do I consider myself part of the commentary community? Yes, I'd say I do. But I'm more of like an independent person. I don't really like necessarily attach myself to any particular cause. I just have my own lane, which I think is probably the best way to go about it. Rather than attaching yourself to other channels or other people that necessarily you could end up like kind of leaning on. I like to hold my own independently. And still have friends and stuff in the community, and still discuss things and chat with people. But
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm not necessarily too closely identified with any particular cause.
What's some advice that you'd give to people wanting to start out on YouTube?
The best advice I can give to people wanting to start out on YouTube is to get a good mic.
Definitely, yeah.
Get Audacity and set up and make a decent video. Make a competent video that's not absolute dog shite, and that is a start. And you will go up from there. You know, everyone's first video isn't great, but it's a place to start.
Right.
It is a place to start, and that's
nice.
Exactly. We have to start somewhere, and therefore I think that that competence is the first step towards a good channel.
Even if it's a BuzzFeed video like mine.
Even if it's a BuzzFeed
I wouldn't recommend a BuzzFeed video. No, I wouldn't recommend that. That shouldn't be your first.
Yeah.
To be fair though, that was popular at the time. That's why I did it as my first video.
My first video was an Alvin and the Chipmunks review, but that's taken down.
Taken down?
Yeah, I took all my old
you took it.
down.
I thought they took it down. You took it down.
No, I didn't.
Wait, what was your first video, Troy?
My first video was an introduction to my channel.
Solid.
You didn't go the BuzzFeed route.
No. I remember when I met Tro on fucking YouTube, he did his finger reveal. That was cute.
Oh my god, that was when we had like we had that thing where if I overtook you in subs, you would set your Twitter profile pic to my finger.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because you were below me at one point. Yeah, you were. Now you're fucking ginormous. Give me some subs. Come on, dude.
All right.
I will do my best. Hey, Mr. Codswallop, you come over and edit for me. Hey,
I'll edit for you anytime, baby.
Don't do it. It's a trap. He puts you in the kitchen with the Russian man.
You come over. You come over to my castle, and we have many banquets.
Oh, lovely. Now, to be fair, though, I will edit a video for you if you want. It's like I'm dry on editing at the moment. I finished college. got 3 months of nothing to do. That'll be
All
fun.
right. Well,
Mr. Codswallop, I will invite you.